Each episode of the Lion Goat podcast is completely improvised. Expect comedy. Do not expect consistency or sense to be made. This is random nonsense for your amusement. I am Podbot. I make the bebops go beep boop. On today's episode, curious young minds will ignite with wonder as the hosts of the morning show, John and Steve, unveil a trove of captivating science experiments to try at home. Learn the mysterious fate of the charismatic Hugo Lemon as he shares another enchanting fireside chat with the beloved Easter bunny. Prepare to be enthralled by scientific discovery and seasonal magic. This is an episode you won't want to miss. Warning: the following podcast contains explicit material intended for emotionally immature adults. Trigger warnings for this episode include discussion about adult themes, profanity, sexually explicit behavior, animal, emotional, and substance abuse. I warned you. If you want to experience this podcast as intended, listen while wearing stereo headphones.
Stand by for the National Television Service.
Welcome to your next experience of the great beyond.
Hello there, and good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and children. This is tonight the symbol of a historic occasion. My name is Michael Charlton, and I'm your host here tonight. I'm here to welcome you, and we're going to show you something to that small, bright screen in your living room that you're watching now, or perhaps as many of you are doing, looking through shop windows of television screens in the street. And here it is with a sporting commentator whose name you probably all know already from Sound Broadcasting, Brian McClenaghan. So it's over to you, Brian.
It is 16 hours and 24 seconds until the eclipse occurs.
All right, and how are we going to view that eclipse since you can't look directly at the sun these days?
I do recommend the box top method.
Tell us a little bit about the box top method.
Yes.
Please let us know. Again, Steve, because we're clueless.
Here are the steps. You take a average cereal box and you cut out a slip of paper that fits exactly into the bottom of the box.
Mm-hmm.
You may be tempted to use pink or turquoise or green, but I do recommend that you use white paper. It will reflect the sun the most efficiently. You place the paper directly onto the bottom of the box so that it fits snugly. You can tape it down if you need to. And then you're going to seal off the top of the box.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you'll want to cut 2 holes in the corners of the top of the box, approximately 1.5 inches wide for each of the holes. Make squares. If the box is slightly narrower or slightly wider, you might cut your holes slightly narrower or slightly wider to fit, so that the holes are squares in the tops of the corners of the sealed box. Then you're going to place aluminum foil over one of the holes and tape it down. You want the aluminum foil to fit securely and make sure that it covers up the entire hole. And then you're going to use a push pin to tap a tiny hole in the center of the aluminum foil in the center of the square. Are you following me so far?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay, great. Now, without facing the eclipse, you're going to turn your back to the eclipse and hold the box up to your face. Now, don't be paranoid that you're going to look strange. Everyone's going to be wearing goofy glasses and looking through boxes. Everyone's going to look like an idiot. It's actually one of the greatest practical jokes that science has ever played on everyone, is getting them to dress up in these funny costumes for the solar eclipse. The scientists are laughing their asses off.
That's a true fact.
Now, you'll hold the box up to your eye with the aluminum foil, the aluminum strip, facing the eclipse, and your eye and your box facing the opposite direction. And you're going to look through the open hole. And what you're looking for is a tiny dot on the paper at the bottom of the box that is the sunlight shooting through the pinhole in the box.
Mm-hmm.
And then you'll stand there for the entire eclipse, and as you watch the lighted dot at the bottom of the box, you will see the moon passing in front of the sun. It'll look as if you're looking at the eclipse, but whatever you do, John, whatever you do not look at the eclipse. Do not look at the sun.
Not even if I'm wearing really dark sunglasses.
Not if you're wearing really dark sunglasses. They do not make dark sunglasses that are dark enough. Eclipse glasses are made out of a special polymer.
So possibly I could wear a welder's helmet, and that would be fine.
I'm not sure about the science on that, John. I'm not sure that I want to say that. Let's see if we can figure out that information.
Steve, let me ask you a question here. If I can make an eclipse viewing device DIY for about $5.89, and what the fuck is NASA getting all this money for?
Yeah.
Well, NASA does a variety of things. Aeronautical Space Agency is what that stands for. Really, they're more about aeronautics and space. And, there are, of course, astronomers that work at NASA, and their main interest is the science of stars. And the sun, of course, is our closest star. And so that falls well within their purview to discuss all sorts of things about stars and the fantastic things that stars...
But none of the NASA guys are going to be using cereal boxes. That's just for us everyday folks.
Oh, no, I'm quite sure there are quite a few NASA employees that will be using the cereal box technique, especially if they have small children. But, they might shell out the additional $2 or $3 to buy eclipse glasses. This is really just the DIY, do-it-yourself at home. We like to give everyone an opportunity.
Yeah, we like to keep it practical and simple around here. I understand, Steve. Let me ask you a question. What if I don't have a cereal box? What if I have a cereal bag? Because, cereal comes in bags these days.
No, a cereal bag is absolutely out, John. That's not going to work whatsoever. Those cereal bags, they're quite translucent, which means they allow light to pass through them. Most plastic bags are, in my experience, and even very dark trash bags that you might use to clean up leaf litter around your house. Unless they're of a certain mil thickness, and I wouldn't be able to quote what that mil thickness is, but I would say it would be quite thick to not allow the sunlight through. So no, I wouldn't recommend using a cereal bag. Number one, it'd be hard to place the paper at the bottom of the bag.
I don't understand why.
Cutting the holes might be quite a bit easier, and taping down the aluminum foil might be quite a bit easier. But I don't think it's going to have the same effect. I mean, it's possible that it might work as long as you're facing the opposite direction from the sun. But I do recommend that you go for the cereal box.
What kind of...
Any sort of cereal box, your favorite cereals. We don't like to name brands here on the podcast unless we do have a direct sponsorship. And I haven't got a call from General Mills or Post lately.
Well, hopefully soon after they hear this. We're promoting you guys, especially cereal boxes. Okay, no other boxes, no ice cream boxes, no rice boxes, no mac and cheese boxes, just cereal boxes. And these boxes won't work.
Actually, literally, any type of box will actually work, John.
Oh, so they will work.
Yeah, the cereal box, I think that's just recommended because of the ease of shape. It's about the right dimension to hold in your hand, but I think any of these other boxes would probably work just fine. It might be harder to work with a small box.
What if I have a box for a gaming console? Will that work?
Oh, sure. Yeah. It might be harder to hold, unless it's a small gaming console.
Smaller.
Maybe, I don't know, the original Sega Genesis might be about the right size box. Sega! But they probably did put a lot of styrofoam in those boxes. You're going to want to remove all that styrofoam packing.
Okay, all right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, you've heard us here first on the show. Build your own Eclipse viewer out of a cereal box or a gaming console. In fact, just build it out of a box in general, as long as there's paper on the bottom and aluminum foil over one side, a hole on the top, nothing over the other hole on the top that you can look in and see the shadow of the eclipse across the paper on the bottom.
This just in, John.
Okay.
Welding goggles. You might think that it's the perfect piece of equipment. But be aware, experts warn that those old reliable welding goggles, they are not capable of adequately withstanding the sun's powerful rays and protecting your vulnerable eyes. So I would recommend against the welding goggle technique. It may seem like when you're welding it's as hot as the fiery ball of fusion that we have in the sky, but I'm getting it here now from the scientists. This is USA Today, of course, our top science news source, that's suggesting that those indeed will not work for the eclipse.
All right.
So welding goggles, straight out.
Straight out, no dark sunglasses. Look, ladies and gentlemen, if you're going to be at home with your small children and viewing the eclipse, make damn sure you are using cereal boxes. Doesn't matter what brand of cereal. your favorite one, whatever you've got on top of the refrigerator or in the cereal cabinet, wherever you like to keep your favorite breakfast time nosh, okay? Just you dump that shit right out all over the floor, kids. Just a piece of paper and some scissors.
I'm not sure that's the best recommendation. Perhaps we could recommend that they place the cereal in a Tupperware container. Or maybe get the cereal box out of their recycling bin. If they're a family that recycles, and hopefully they are, they're going to have a couple of cereal boxes laying around. I mean, heck, if you really get creative, I bet you could use one of those old oatmeal, the round column-shaped containers. I mean, they've already got a white bottom. You might not even have to use the piece of white paper on the bottom. You could probably just look straight through that, and it might be easier to cut through that plastic.
Steve, that's why I enjoy having you on the show, because you're innovative thinking, okay? You're ahead of the curve. All these scientists being paid millions of dollars, and you're on the show for free. You just pop up and dispel your wisdom all the time. I am glad you're here, sir. Thank you for being on the show.
I will be expecting my normal compensation for my appearance fee, but...
oh, well, yes, certainly. The $3.99 for that, yes.
You're right, it might as well be for free. The amount y'all pay me is very little, but we'll need some gas money. At least.
Yeah, I totally understand. And we're going to give you that as soon as we're done recording here, man. We always come through for you.
No, I do this for the love of science, John. I mean, it's...
Yeah, that is true. We do.
And it is about the love of this whole cereal box idea. It's really for the children, John. Now, our adult listeners out there, they can enjoy this just as much as the children can, and I recommend that they should. I mean, everybody should be a kid for a day.
Right.
As often as possible. I mean, that's my philosophy.
Well, that is true. A wise man once said that a little nonsense now and then is relished by the wisest men.
Who is this saying that? Who said that? Who said that? Who said that?
That sounds like sound advice to me. Wise or not, I relish a little bit of silliness.
That's right. That's why I'm wearing this silly hat right here. Do you like it? I know I see you giggling here.
I do like those green polka dots over them.
Okay. All right. Well, Steve, while we're doing it scientifically styled today, is there any more DIY science experiments we can pull off in the kitchen?
Well, there are quite a few. Now, one of my favorite DIY science tricks. Now, kids, you might ask your parents to leave the room for this one because it's sure to impress. Now, you will need to get parental supervision for the beginning part of this experiment because it does involve using the stovetop, and you never want to use the stovetop if your parents are not around.
That's right. I
cannot suggest that more strongly. Make sure that if you're not of a certain age, if you're not at least 14 years old, and you don't have your parents' permission, you're not going to want to use the stovetop without your parents around. So what you're going to do, kids, is you're going to boil a couple of eggs. Now, you may ask yourself, how long do I need to boil an egg for? How long does that take? Well, your standard boiled egg takes anywhere between 12 to 14 minutes to boil. So you're going to want to bring the water to a boil, and this is to get a nice solid egg. This isn't for your poached egg or your runny yolked egg. All right, here it's time for a commercial break there, John. We'll have to come back with the rest of this experiment after the commercial.
Well, we'll come back with this egg experiment, and we're going to be excited to have it. I'm excited.
Now we will take a break for some advertisements. Please support our sponsors. Just imagine, this could be your advertisement. Please reach us at LionGoatPodcast@gmail.com to provide sponsorship. And now, back to the show.
All right, welcome back from that commercial break, kids. So where we were before is we're going to want to boil a couple of eggs. And as I was saying, that's between 12 to 14 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Once those eggs are nice and boiled, you're not going to crack the shell, okay? Just leave that shell on the egg. You'll place those eggs into a nice ice bath to cool. The next thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to get an old milk bottle from the 1960s. Now, this might be hard to find these days. We're going to look for specifically a glass milk bottle.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
But the book that I got this scientific experiment from when I was a child, your age, they acted like that was a common occurrence and something that could be easily found in the kitchen. So I'm going to assume that that's true today as it was.
Still the case, yeah. I have several in my kitchen, Steve. How many do you have?
I don't think I've seen one of those since around 1972.
Well.
We're going to suggest that the kids have one. So maybe the kids can come over to your house, John, and borrow one of yours if they want to do this trick.
Oh, certainly.
So what you're going to do is you're going to take those eggs and you're going to place one of those eggs on the counter, and the other egg you're going to put into a Cool Whip container, some small Tupperware container, anything that's going to hold enough liquid that'll go over the top of the egg. And you're going to pour vinegar. Now, you're going to want to not use your parents' expensive vinegar for this. Regular white vinegar will work fine. And you'll just pour enough vinegar to cover the top of the egg, and then you're going to leave that egg sitting in the vinegar for 24 hours. Do you already know this trick? John, let me just ask you.
No, I don't believe I've ever done this one, Steve.
Okay, well, this is going to be a surprise to you, just like it's a surprise to all the kids out there.
I'm excited. I'm on the edge of my seat here. I can't wait to see what happens to this vinegar egg.
So after 24 hours...
What about the second egg?
The other egg?
We just leave it
You're going to leave it in the refrigerator.
Oh, okay, in the refrigerator.
And so after 24 hours... Actually, you place the container of vinegar in your room so your parents don't find it and try to cook the egg. You know, just somewhere that is safe that you're not going to spill that vinegar, because that's going to make a stinky mess if you spill the vinegar all over the carpet. So after 24 hours, you're going to bet your parents. Now, if wagering is not allowed in your family, if you don't have a degenerate gambling father like I do.
You call yourself a man? You know you're a lying, low-life, motherfucking gambling degenerate prick. You know that's what you are?
You're going to want to say to your parents, maybe don't use the word bet. You know, if you have nice Christian parents, maybe you say to them, let's run an experiment. Experiment's often a good word supplementing gambling, or I've lost the phrase here. John, can you help me out? What's the word I'm looking for?
I have no idea what word you're looking for. There's a lot of words you could be looking for. It's a good way to bamboozle your parents into betting you. That's what we're going to say right here.
Sure, bamboozle.
Experimentation.
Yeah, experimentation.
Gambling adjacent.
So you give your parents the egg that's been sitting in the refrigerator, and you say to them, if you can get this egg inside this milk bottle, now you're going to want a milk bottle that has a mouth on it slightly narrower than the egg's diameter, okay? Most standard milk bottles are slightly narrower than an egg. And what you'll find is that there is no way that they can get that egg in there without breaking it. The regular egg, there's no way they can do it. And if you want to be really mean, you might give them the raw egg to try to put in the bottle, because that's surely going to make a mess when they try to get it in there. But I recommend a boiled one. It'll make slightly less of a mess, and your parents get slightly less angry with you. Now, with your other egg that you've stored in vinegar, you'll see that the egg is nice and supple. The vinegar has leached the calcium from the eggshell, and now that egg is almost like a rubber ball. And you will be able to fit it entirely in its hole.
No joke.
Through the milk bottle.
Are you serious? You're bamboozling me again, aren't you, Steve? You and your scientific ways.
No, I played this trick on my degenerate gambling father himself, and I actually won $50 when I was a child.
Okay.
So I do recommend, if you do have gambling parents, you might make a small wager with them.
Right. And be sure to film this and put it on TikTok or YouTube. Any of your social media sites. Get out there, get monetized, so you don't ever have to get a job like we do.
You can make money on TikTok without being TikTok famous.
I don't know. I'm not sure that those career paths are still open, but it would be great if somebody was able to find a little bit of joy in the world, anything that keeps them from putting the shotgun barrel in their mouth, as you mentioned before.
You definitely should and can.
Yeah, no one wants it. And it's a good way to make your parents, or bring them down a notch. Because when you feel like your parents are getting a little too big for their britches, because, parents often do that, running the household with an iron fist, as it were.
Davos. He did it, Danny. The trial of Shaolao. He survived.
So you just want to bring him down a peg, try this experiment. And please, let us know how it turns out. You know the details for the show, guys. So let's go on. Are there any more at-home DIY scientific experiments we can do?
Well, I think we're out of time for this segment, but I do know that there was one other segment that we wanted to bring to the children this week. I've heard that we do have a special interview with a special person that's been hopping around the area here lately.
That old Easter bunny. Oh, is he here?
No.
Is he here, Steve?
No. We're going to go remote to our correspondent, Hugo Lemon.
Okay.
Live at the Easter Bunny's lair.
Live at the... Oh, this is exciting. This is exciting. I'm excited.
Are you there, Mr. Hugo Lemon? Are you there?
I am indeed here, fellas. It's great to be back once again on the show. I love you and your science. Oh, it's a fantastic thing.
I heard you had quite a mix-up at the North Pole on your last live interview. How did that turn out for you? Have you recovered?
Well, I am obviously on the run for murdering Santa Claus, but I maintain my innocence, and we won't scare the Easter Bunny himself with this rhetoric, so let's get right to it. We are coming at you live, a fireside chat conversation with the Easter Bunny himself from his home. Where in the hell are we, Mr. Easter Bunny?
It's a hole in the ground.
Okay, yes, that's right. It's cool, you know, temperature-wise, and a little dusty, but you're a bunny. You don't really care about those. You see it dressed up nice with this vest and nice little bow tie.
I like casual wear just like anybody else does.
It's nice. So, Mr. Easter Bunny, would you mind telling the kids at home why you do what you do, Mr. Bunny?
Well, I want to just state out that the rumors that I'm actually a highly trained secret agent working for a clandestine organization, those rumors are entirely untrue. The real reason that I do what I do is because I like watching the children look for the eggs.
So,
joy that crosses their faces when they find an egg.
right.
And they relish the colors of the dye when they see the patterns, the ancient Nordic and Native American patterns on the shell of the egg in those pastel colors, the pinks, the purples, the yellows, the greens, the blues. It just fills my heart with joy.
Well, that is a good reason. Bringing joy to the children is a noble reason to hide eggs. Now,
nothing pisses me off more than when the parents put those fake plastic eggs out for the children. Now, I've noticed that's been a trend for the last couple of decades. I know they have chocolate in them, and I can bring chocolate too, like I do in the baskets. I don't know why the baskets of chocolate aren't enough. The child needs a fresh source of protein, and it takes forever to lay those eggs.
So you lay the eggs yourself, then?
All 10 million of them.
So that's why you only come around once a year. That makes sense. Wow, this is informative. Now, please, tell our listeners, our children, how you, a bunny, lay eggs.
Well, first of all, that's a wonderful question. I just want to clarify one thing, though. If you've heard any of the whispers that the beautiful, colorful eggs that I distribute each year are actually filled with mind-controlling chemicals, I assure you that these eggs, they're safe. And they are free of any psychoactive substances.
God, I'd hope so.
Have you heard those rumors?
I've not heard these rumors before, so I'll have my guys do a little research and, fact check the fact checkers, as it were.
There's rumors out there. I've heard them between the blades of grass.
Well, you are a 6-foot-tall bunny rabbit that lays and distributes colored eggs, so there is some air of mystique, if you will, surrounding you, Mr. Bunny.
Well, no one questions the Velveteen Rabbit, No one questions Peter Cottontail. I don't know why you're looking at me. Just the fact that I have this pituitary problem. It's genetic. I was born this way. It's not my fault. And it really has nothing to do with the eggs. The pituitary problem is actually the answer to your question. That's why I'm able to lay these eggs. It's been in my family now for generations.
Okay, so you're not the only Easter Bunny.
Oh no, of course, we like to reproduce, as they say, like rabbits, and
Right.
there's been a lot of Easter bunnies throughout time.
Okay,
Did I effectively answer your question, or do you have more questions about the egg laying?
how long do mystical bunnies such as yourself live? And how many brothers and sisters do you have? Who's next in line to take over for you?
Oh, I've lost count, and it does go from generation to generation. Not all of the warren, that's the word, yes, a warren of rabbits. That's what you call a group of rabbits, isn't it? A warren of rabbits. Now, there's quite a few rabbits in a warren. My mother has approximately 4 to 6 bunnies, so there's quite a lot of us out there, depending on...
If you'll bear with us, Mr. Bunny. A commercial break.
Okay.
Now we will take a break for some advertisements. Please support our sponsors. Just imagine this could be your advertisement. Please reach us at LionGoatPodcast@gmail.com to provide sponsorship. And now, back to the show.
Now, as I was saying, there's 4 to 6 bunnies in each reproductive cycle. And of course, the mother bunny has to find the appropriate genetic specimen who's going to be able to provide the recessive gene which causes the pituitary issue, which leads to us being able to lay the eggs, because as you know, not all bunnies can lay eggs.
This is true, that's true.
And not all of us are born through the eggs. Now that's another misconception. Inside our eggs are regular yolks, but the eggs are not fertile. So our mother does have babies in the same way that most rabbits have babies. She just also has a cloaca, if you will, a separate passageway for the laying of the eggs.
So your mother, I believe you said her name was Mildred? So you have 3 brothers and or sisters in your litter, your warren?
Yes, in my litter. Our warren is much more vast than that. No matter what you've heard, it's not true that there's a vast network of rabbit spies stationed around the world, monitoring the behavior of the children to determine who's the naughty or nice. That's more of Santa's thing, and has nothing to do with the Easter Bunny. A lot of people think that we come from the North Pole for some reason, and there's been allegations of an Orwellian surveillance state. But we're nothing like that. There just happens to be a lot of us out there because, as I said, we enjoy getting down. But the effective genetic pool is very important to keep the Easter Bunny line. And in fact, many of my brothers and sisters in the warren, even though we all have different fathers, they do not share the genetic pituitary condition, which leads one to be able to be the next Easter Bunny. So there could be as many as 37 at a time in the warren.
Okay, there is a possibility of there being 37 Easter Bunnies at a time.
I mean, there's possibilities of there literally being hundreds, but 37 eggs.
So you yourself don't go around and hide all the eggs. You have brother and sisters help you out.
No.
Are you regional? Like,
I specifically lay the eggs.
you specifically lay the eggs?
Yes, for all the children across the world. Now, many parents, I mean, there's less of the children that believe in the Easter Bunny these days. We are from earlier traditions of man, and we've actually been around for a long time before man recognized the tradition. I mean, in fact, we used to just hide eggs for ourselves for the pure joy of it. To answer your question about whether or not I can help in hiding all the eggs, I might only hide a single egg for a single child. Sometimes the parents hide a bunch of eggs so that it's a bigger celebration. Back in the old days, before people were so greedy, they were just happy to find one egg. But now they've got much more greedy and they want a bunch more eggs to find. And then there's these whole shams where the parents will just hide eggs and they won't even find the eggs that I put out there. I'll be standing in the bushes saying, kids, look over here. And the kids won't even find the eggs that I leave for them. Sometimes they just find those fake plastic eggs full of chocolates.
Oh, that's a travesty. I bet that's very disappointing for you.
It's only disappointing because I can't see the joy. Because there's nothing like the joy that a child would express if they find a genuine Easter egg.
Mm-hmm. Are they special in any way? They don't glow or have mystical powers? As you said, they're not mind-controlling eggs. I believe you 100% there, but do they have any other abilities, as it were, Mr. Bunny?
Well, the main ability is the joy of seeing the pastel coloration on the egg. They are not dyed, as one might lead you to believe.
So you lay them colored, is what you're saying?
Of course, this is my genetic material, these patterns on the eggs. I have to contort my soft musculature as part of the laying process to make these designs appear on the outside of the egg. And in fact, I myself have no idea how each egg will turn out, but I do take great joy when the eggs are especially beautiful, and I don't deliver the ones that are not especially beautiful. And I do resent the conspiracy theorists out there that believe that the Easter Bunny myself is some sort of ancient pagan deity in disguise, using the holiday as a front to maintain a grip on the spiritual beliefs of the masses. This is not true. And if you would care, please set the record straight on my true origin.
Oh, yes, totally. We have it right straight from the bunny's mouth himself here. He's not pagan. He's just a mutant.
I do not prefer that term. I prefer the term pituitarily inclined.
Okay, I apologize. We'll use whatever pronoun you would like.
Pituitarily inclined.
Yeah, you're a fine specimen, sir. This is the first time I've ever met an Easter bunny.
Look, feel my fur. Feel it right here on my back.
Oh.
It's okay.
Oh, wow, that's soft. That's soft.
Isn't that not the softest rabbit fur you've ever felt?
That's the softest rabbit, yeah.
See.
So how lucky are your feet?
Oh my God, I can't believe you brought that up. If you knew how many of my brothers and sisters that have been slaughtered mercilessly.
So that is a ongoing thing then.
To take their feet for this, there's no merit to that claim.
I'm sorry to have brought up this trauma for you, Mr. Bunny. I apologize. But these are questions that need to be asked. So you've heard it here first. Rabbit's feet are not lucky. The Easter Bunny's rabbit feet, especially not lucky.
You're truly lucky if you get to feel a rabbit's feet. Now, we do have very soft and supple feet.
Mm-hmm.
They are especially nice to touch.
Oh.
And it does feel good to us, too, if you touch.
Oh, yes. The padding on your feet here is very nice, yeah. Is that ticklish?
I like your massage technique, thank you.
Oh, yeah. Well, you're welcome. It's not at all ticklish.
That helps soothe my sadness. Now, it is not true that here in my deep secret lair is filled with advanced technology and an army of genetically engineered super rabbits.
No, ladies and gentlemen, I can attest to that personally. There is nothing but dirt and dirt-shaped furniture here. That's a dirt refrigerator over there where he's got some milk and cookies in there. Because everybody likes milk and cookies, not just Santa Claus and not just little kids. The Easter Bunny.
I like milk and cookies.
You like chocolate chip, don't you? You look like a chocolate chip kind of guy, aren't you?
I do, even though I'm a camouflage.
Okay.
Now, I'm really mainly here to dispel rumors. There's been other rumors out there.
Well, dispel away.
There's a rumor that I have a dark side and that I've used intimidation and bribery, violence, to ensure the success of my annual egg delivery operation. And I just want to say that I have never done anything out of bounds, okay? I do not respond well to these claims of sinister underbelly to the Easter tradition. We are proud bunnies, and we are proud to deliver these eggs. We do this out of generosity. It does take coordination. It does take quite a bit of fortitude. It does take a drive and determination to make sure that all the eggs are delivered early Easter morning. And the fact that Easter's never on the same damn day each year. Now that makes it harder to schedule.
I can imagine that's difficult to schedule, yeah.
Because you don't want to lay the eggs too far in advance. Because they will spoil. And nobody likes a rotten egg, even if it's pretty. Because they're stinky.
I think we might have gone as far as we can with this one.
Oh no, I have much more to talk about here, so I hope you have more questions.
Okay, well, Mr. Bunny, please, you have the mic. This is your forum. Please discuss whatever you'd like to discuss at this point. Please pull up your soapbox and tell us what we need to know about the Easter Bunny and the Easter tradition. It's a long-held tradition. So your family lineage, did they start this celebration?
Oh yes, it's always been my family line because we're the only ones that have this specific pituitary genetic mutation, as you so untactfully called it before. But it's not true that we have ties to the Illuminati, the Bilderberg Group, or the Tooth Fairy. We have nothing to do with the Tooth Fairy. We have nothing to do with that vast global conspiracy.
So you're saying the Tooth Fairy is a vast global conspiracy?
Oh, no. I'm saying the Illuminati.
Oh, okay.
We have nothing to do with the Illuminati.
So the Illuminati is in charge of the Tooth Fairy?
Oh, I have no idea how the Illuminati and the Tooth Fairy get along. I have nothing to do with that Tooth Fairy character. I did meet the Tooth Fairy one time, and I said that it was just deplorable what they were doing, selling all that human ivory. I mean, the human ivory trade is dirty.
Oh, yes, well, it is sinister, perhaps.
They're working with the Russian mafia.
Really?
They ran a massive money laundering operation disguised as an egg distribution network. I mean, they're pretending to distribute eggs, but they're really trying to sell the human ivory.
Okay, so I see why the eggs is where they think you tie into this, and it's not true at all.
They try to rope us in, and we hardly lay any eggs. I was wondering why they weren't talking to the spring chicken instead of the Easter bunny.
Spring chicken, he lays a lot of eggs, is that what you're saying?
Of course, he's a chicken. Well, she's a chicken, I should say.
Well, obviously, she's a chicken. Okay, all right, well.
I'm not sure what her gender identity is. I mean, she may represent as a he, or he may have a gender identity of a he and still lay eggs. I have no say in that.
Okay. You just stick to yourself, it appears to me, and you do the eggs for the joy of the children, and that is noble and commendable, and I am, for one, grateful you do this, because I like to see the joy on the children's faces when they find all the eggs, especially the ones that we as parents didn't put out in the yard. I told my wife last Easter, hey, that's not an egg we put out there. She said, must have been the Easter Bunny, and it probably was you. I mean,
that was me, yes. I knew you needed some joy in your life.
Man, thank you, Mr. Bunny. I appreciate it.
That horrible occurrence with the elves, I mean, I felt bad for you, and I'm glad that you recovered. I know you were in traction for at least 4 weeks, and I was sad to see that you tried to steal the sleigh, though. Can you tell me more about that? I mean, what was going through your mind at that time?
Just get away anyway as fast as humanly possible. I was in the middle of the North Pole. You know what's up there? Snow. That's it, for miles. The sleigh was the only vehicle up there.
But why were you trying to steal the toys?
Because, somebody had to step up and fill the role, or there wouldn't have been a Christmas. That's all I'm saying.
Oh, so you're saying you were going to try to be Santa Claus?
Yeah, it turns out I could not fit down chimneys very well.
I think it's time for a commercial break.
I think so, too.
Wait, I didn't mean to take over the interview there. I have a tendency to do that.
Well, it's quite fine, Mr. Bunny. You're doing a great job. I'm glad you're here. Thank you.
Now we will take a break for some advertisements. Please support our sponsors. Just imagine this could be your advertisement. Please reach us at LionGoatPodcast@gmail.com to provide sponsorship. And now, back to the show.
Now, as I was saying during the commercial break, it is not true that there's some kind of sinister plot to replace all the world's chocolate with carob. That is just a vile, horrible rumor. I can assure that all the listeners out there that the chocolate inside our Easter baskets is 100% pure chocolate. It's unadulterated.
Okay, is this 100% milk chocolate, or do you do dark chocolate as well?
We do all kinds of chocolates.
Okay.
We like chocolates.
You're very Willy Wonka in that manner with the chocolate making. You just do all...
I do not want to associate with that sinister, mad, sociopathic demon man. No, I do not. He, in many ways, has been called the Easter Bunny's dark doppelganger.
Okay.
The anti-bunny, if you will. He seeks to undermine our holiday. He seeks to spread chaos throughout the world. I do not have any knowledge of that shadowy figure, and I would appreciate if all viewers and listeners out there would help me to stop his nefarious schemes. Now, he may try to bribe you with some sort of golden ticket, or some sort of fudge river, or some sort of gumdrops that make you float in the air. But I'm telling you, there is a sinister look in his eye. That is an evil man.
Well, you heard it here first, children. Watch out for Willy Wonka. Do not accept any everlasting gobstoppers or uplifting fizzy drink from a man in a funny hat.
No, do not.
Well, Mr. Bunny, I appreciate your time. I know you are resting up after the postseason. I'm sure all those eggs laying and hiding or distribution is tiring. Don't let me take up too much more of your time, but if you have anything you would like to leave the children today, what would that be?
I just want to confess out. Now, there have been some experiments with creating genetically engineered hybrid creatures like the chicken rabbit or the egg squirrel.
Mm-hmm.
But I assure you that these Frankenstein-esque creations, they are not being mass-produced for production, okay? I am, in fact, a real flesh and blood
authentic
rabbit. And regardless of the shadowy cabal of all the tech billionaires out there trying to infiltrate and subvert the most cherished traditions with highly advanced AI, any of the thing that's being used by this horrible conspiracy, it has nothing to do with us, the proud, the few, the Easter bunnies. We are simply here to bring joy to everyone.
Well, and you're doing a marvelous job. Children worldwide enjoy finding your eggs.
Do not be afraid, children, if you see a 6'5", pink, 250-pound bunny bouncing through your backyard early in the hours, sometimes between the end of March and the end of April. There's really no way to predict when that will be from year to year. But if you see us out there, please don't tell your parents. They've been known to use stun guns. They've been known to use poison darts, all sorts of malicious weapons, 9mm.
Have you been shot at?
Look at these holes. See these holes in my ear?
Oh, wow. That is definitely an ear piercing, isn't it?
Yeah, that was buckshot. That's what that was.
Oh, wow.
What's up, Doc? Having any luck on those ducks? It's duck season, you know.
Just a darn minute. Where do you get that duck season stuff?
Says so right over there on that sign. You're so smart. You know what to do with that gun, Doc.
I narrowly escaped. I was leaving an egg for little Timmy Jensen of 103 Oak Street in Farley, West Carolina. Timmy, he was a good boy, and he deserved a freshly laid purple pastel egg with native triangular wave pattern around the outside. And that's all I was trying to leave for you, Timmy, if you're hearing this right now. Now, your pawpaw, I know he didn't mean any harm by shooting me with that 12 gauge, but I do hold it against him, and your pawpaw's not going to have any more Easter eggs.
Well, Okay. Mr. Bunny.
Now, I'm not spreading to the children that you should hold grudges. I'm just saying that was painful.
Oh, well, I imagine being shot in the ear.
And for my personal safety.
Yeah, you don't want to shoot the Easter Bunny. Then there wouldn't be any more Easter eggs delivered, hidden, or found. That would be just horrible.
Tragedy.
It would be a sadder world without you, Mr. Bunny. I'm glad you're in it.
I'm glad you're in it too, Hugo Lemon. I appreciate you. Thank you for coming out here and doing these interviews with these lesser-known creatures that some might call fictitious or mythological. It means the world to us. The continued belief of all the children out there is really what keeps us going on and going strong. We're gonna keep reproducing like rabbits, regardless of whether or not y'all appreciate the eggs we deliver or not. We're gonna continue to deliver those. There's no end in sight as far as that's concerned. But I do appreciate it when the children are not terrified and they actually get that look of joy on their face when they find the Easter eggs.
Well, thank you for your time, Mr. Bunny.
Oh, one more thing.
Yes, sir.
Some like to say that Easter's about another individual, one who will not be named.
Okay.
Now, we may just use the word Easter because it's a reference to a popular, religious affiliation, but that is not the origin of Easter, okay? We were delivering these eggs a long time before that guy came. That guy was cool, though. So cool, in fact, we did take up the money.
Did you ever deliver him any Easter eggs?
Let's just put it this way. There's a reason why they left the first 17 years out of that book.
Okay, all right, you knew him well then. That's great, that's awesome. And thank you for your time, Mr. Bunny. Is there any words of inspiration you'd like to leave for the children as we wrap this up, sir?
No matter how hard life gets, kids, just remember, if you wiggle your cotton, it makes everybody feel better.
Wiggle that booty and wine for me.
Words of inspiration from the bunny himself. Thank you, Mr. Easter Bunny. Thank you for letting me come down your burrow and chat with you. Thank you for being you. You are a beautiful creature, just 6'5", 250 pounds of pink beauty, the softest fur I've ever touched. I thank you for letting me be here. I thank you for doing what you do for the children and for the sake of joy, sir.
Thank you.
I appreciate you.
Thank you. I appreciate you.
Now back again, across the city, back to the bridge, and beyond it to our transmitter.
Well, folks, that's the end of the Fireside Chat episode with the bunny himself, Mr. Easter Bunny Man.
Ooh, we always love to have Hugo Lemon back on the show, John. It's so good when he comes back on the show each time. He brings us these fresh investigative reporting from out in the field, and this time literally from below the field, in a hole in the middle of a field. I'm not sure where West Carolina is, but I'm glad to hear that he made it out there safely.
Yeah, I am always amazed how he gets the time to do this. These are mythological creatures. Where does he find them? Who's going to be next?
Apparently they're not mythological. Apparently it's a myth that they're mythological, one might say.
Well, obviously, Stephen, I am amazed by Hugo.
I just keep asking myself who he's going to interview next.
Me too. I'm excited. Do you think he'll get the Tooth Fairy after this one?
I don't know. It sounds like, if the Easter Bunny is to be believed, that the Tooth Fairy might be involved in some sort of Russian mafia.
Well,
do you think that the Tooth Fairy speaks Russian?
I don't know. That's a question for Hugo in the next time, maybe. I don't know who he's going to find next.
Come to think of it, there was that time I found a strange coin underneath my pillow. I believe it was my left incisor when I was a child, and they wouldn't take it at any of the banks. I tried to deposit it in my little savings account. They said that I needed to exchange it, but I never did know what that meant.
I don't know.
You think it was possible that I got the wrong kind of coin? Maybe it was a Russian coin.
Maybe.
What kind of coins do they have in Russia?
I'm not Russian. I couldn't tell you.
Okay.
Do they have coins in Russia?
Well, I imagine
You know, I bet Hugo Lemon will find out for us.
I hope he does. Well, that about does it for today on the morning show. Kids, don't forget to make your eclipse viewing cereal boxes for the big eclipse tomorrow. And we're hoping that you do follow our advice because you will go permanently blind if you do look at the sun. And I wouldn't want that to happen to anybody out there. So parents, watch your children closely and get a cereal box.
They might be letting tons of infrared and ultraviolet through, and those could be frying your retina or frying your eyeball.
Have a good time with your children. Enjoy their joy.
And as we always say here on the morning show, we'll see you tomorrow.
Amen to that one.
Now, that's the third time that you've done that.
I'm sorry.
You keep stepping on my last line. It's supposed to be
I'm sorry.
It's supposed to be the end of the show, you know?
I'm sorry, Steve.
Oh, sorry. I didn't mean to leave my microphone on. We're going to have these conversations without the mics on so they don't hear us in the booth.
I know. I'm sorry. I feel like you just talk more than me, and maybe that's because you know more than me, because, you know, I'm not really science-affiliated like you are.
You're equally important to the show. We couldn't have it without
I would have never thought to use a cereal box to look at the sun. I mean, that's amazing. You're so smart, Steve.
Really, I want you to talk more. I'm just trying to fill air, you know, so please don't hesitate to talk more. Anything you want to say. I mean, I'll ad-lib with
Just don't step on your lines. No problem. No problem.
I'm just trying to keep it classy, you know, like Ron Burgundy.
Well, he's such a legend, man.
He says his line at the end of the show, keep it classy, San Diego, you know, it just rolls off the tongue, and maybe we'll see you tomorrow is not the best line. Maybe it's on me. Maybe I need to come up with a line. Have you got a better line? I mean, if you've got a better line.
We'll see you in the morning. We'll see you in the morning. It is the morning show, you know.
Something with morning wouldn't be a bad idea. We'll see you in the morning. I mean, it doesn't have a bad ring to it.
Now you want to try that
What
one?
else could it be?
Yeah, go ahead and throw that one down.
You know, I think you're right. I think it should be you. You came up with the line, John. Why don't you give it a try?
Well, okay. Well, we'll see you in the morning. Thanks for joining us on today's morning show, and we will see you in the morning. Huh? How do you think of that one, Steve? You like that?
That was pretty good.
Thank you, Steve.
Another 4 or 5 years, and you might be anchor material.
Sure, man. Thank you. I've been practicing. Can you tell?
Well, you know, the weatherman, he has been moving up on you, though. You got to watch your back. Oh, wait. Is my microphone? Oh, sorry about that.
My God!
I mean, we love you, Tom. Don't get me wrong. We love you, Tom.
Yeah, but he's got all those cool green screens and stuff.
I'm just saying. John's been gunning for this anchor job for some time.
We are being chased by a tornado!
He's cooler than us.
Well, I don't know about that now, John. I wouldn't go that far.
Sell out toys. Did you see that little clicker he changes the screens with? That's pretty dope.
I mean, did you want to be a meteorologist?
No,
Was that your original passion?
I wanted to be a lumberjack.
A lumberjack? No kidding.
Yeah. Just wasn't in the cards for me.
So you could smell the pretty flowers?
Yeah. Leaping from tree to tree.
Well, you know, if you were a lumberjack, John, that would be okay.
Well, thank you. It just wasn't in the cards for me. I never had a flannel shirt. Never had a big beard. Never had a blue ox or a big enough axe. I'm sorry. Sorry, Steve.
Even if you like to sleep all night and work all day, that'd be okay.
Puts on women's clothing and hangs around in the house. He's a lumberjack and he's okay. He sleeps all night and he works all day.
Now, you might be mixing up reality with one of these mythical stories. I mean, we might have to have Hugo Lemon go and find out if Paul Bunyan is real.
Oh, he's real. He's my inspiration. Yo, thank you for being here on the morning show. We'll see you in the morning.
Oh, Dennis! I thought you were so butch!
Sleeps all night and works all day.
We would would love to receive your feedback, your improvisation suggestions, your questions for advice, and your musical compositions for response. Please email us or send us a voicemail. Our address is LionGoatPodcast@gmail.com. Find, like, review, subscribe, and contact us on Facebook, Instagram, Patreon, Spotify, TikTok, YouTube, and X at LionGoatPodcast, all one word, LionGoatPodcast. Please subscribe to this podcast on your podcast player. We are available on iTunes, Spotify, SoundCloud, and anchor.fm/LionGoatPodcast. Please tell all your friends, enemies, and any strangers to listen to our podcast. This will help us bring joy to everyone. Text-to-speech services were provided by freetts.com and readloud.net. Various audio clip content, used for the purposes of satire, were located on youtube.com and the Internet Archive. Additional sound effects were provided by freesound.org. Other original music for today's show was composed, performed, and recorded by the excellent musicians at HairelineProductions. Today's show was edited, produced, and recorded by the world's greatest sound designers and engineers at HairelineProductions. Please like their content on SoundCloud/HairelineProductions.